Well, good morning, everybody. And it is a particularly good Monday morning here. Sam here, live. It's United People's TV. It's Monday, the day after that game there last night. 3-1 winners over Arsenal, 4 wins on the bounce. I'll be honest, I got a little bit excited in my match reaction yesterday because that game yesterday, let me pull that up on screen there, that game yesterday, that felt like a proper game of football between United and Arsenal. It's been a long time since I've been able to say that. Two genuinely competitive teams. Arsenal, I think, overall, I thought they played the most fluid football. You could tell that they're a little bit further ahead in their development with Arteta. But Manchester United, we came up with the moments of the game, the quality moments, and all of those goals were absolutely stunning in their own right. I'm going to run through absolutely everything this morning. I've got a big smile on my face. I'm sure you've got a big smile on your face as well. Beating Liverpool, following that up with a 1-0 win over Southampton and another one against Leicester, and then doing that against Arsenal yesterday. Old Trafford was bouncing. After that Saka equaliser went in, I was like, oh no. My arse was twitching. I wouldn't say my arse was twitching a bit. It felt like that goal was coming, that United were taking the foot off the gas a little bit, but boom, we went and we dominated with the goals on the counter-attack. We set up, we hit with 3 defensive midfielders towards the end. We shut up shop and we saw that game out. You can see it down there, fight and quality combined. There's so many different superlatives that you can now attach to this United team that you just haven't been able to say about United for so long. I mean, there's genuine desire, there's genuine hunger, there's genuine fight. As I said, the team's got a backbone now. The team's got a bit of genuine spirit, togetherness, collectiveness, whatever you want to describe it as. Erik Ten Hag's done a fantastic job, especially in the response to that 4-0 defeat to Brentford. Now, I'm going to run through all of it this morning. There's loads I'm going to run through from Ten Hag. I'm going to speak about Anthony, going to speak about Erik, I'm going to speak about Scott McTominay. What's going on? Honestly, what is he eating? Seriously. Bruno Fernandes. There are so many things to talk about, and you know what to do. You can get involved in the comments. I'll try and read as many of your comments out as possible. Matt, I can see down here this morning. Who's down there in the members? We've got John Ewan. Good morning to you. Matt Stan. We've got Ray, Sam. We've got Vicky. And I see there. Vicky, Brandon. We've got Matt. And I can see there. Or Ricky, Michael, Chris. There's so many here. Oh, and that's what the game felt like yesterday. At the end of it, it was like it wasn't a relief. It was a release. That's the way I would describe the feeling after that game. Because, first of all, I mean, how can you not start by having a conversation about Anthony scoring on his Manchester United debut? Fantastic moment for him. And if you saw Anthony playing in that first, 20, 30 minutes. He looked a little bit nervous. He had a shot that absolutely flew over the bar. He was trying. There was one part where he did a little Cruyff flick back to Delo, I think it was, where they swung across over the box to Eriksen, and his volley went just wide. But Anthony, to step up to the plate yesterday, to be able to deliver, opened his body up, left-footed curler into the side netting. It's dreamy. It's an absolute dreamy start. And that celebration, I know it's you can say what you want about it, but Anthony did everything within his own power. Everything within his own power to force this move to United, from the transfer request, from not training, from not just doing everything. And that interview with Fabrizio. And he goes and does that on his debut. He wants to win it. He wants to succeed at Manchester United, and he's willing to commit to it. And that's what these last few games have shown. I'll run back through Anthony's comments and reaction, but what we've seen in these last 4 games, right, is what can happen with this Manchester United team if these players commit 100%. That's all it is. It's a commitment thing, because without that commitment, without that work rate and desire, the talent can't be used, because you can't open the can. It's like trying to open a really, really tough jar. You just can't do it. All the talent in the world is inside of it. You can't open it without that hard work and determination. What a really, really weird analogy, but I think it kind of makes sense. But Anthony yesterday, this was his comments on Twitter after the game, saying, what an incredible day. Huge thanks to United staff and my teammates. I will never forget this day. To United fans, all my affection for this reception. Let's go for more. And this video here, I hope I don't get slapped down for copyright for this, but I don't think it will. This is from the official United page. You don't need to hear the sound. That's Anthony celebrating here. Look at this from Martinez. I think I've fallen in love very quickly with that bloke. Everybody cheering, Old Trafford absolutely bouncing. Look at that from. It's just that there's a genuine fight in this team again. A genuine fight. There's a question there that caught my eye. Very simple question. Why don't you think Casemiro started? Because Scott McTominay is playing absolutely out of his skin at the moment. Ridiculous. I'll speak about that in a little bit later. But that comment just caught my eye. But what Erik ten Hag has been able to achieve in these few games since the 4-0 to Brentford. I'm doing a video that there's going to be some seriously, in my opinion, obviously in my opinion, good Ten Hag style content coming in the next couple of days. Today, I'm going to do a bit of an analysis into just all the good work that's been done so far by Erik ten Hag and the payoff that now is coming. And the payoff hasn't come. Beating Arsenal is not the be-all and end-all of the season. But the payoff is coming. The direction is clear. And the momentum is taking us down that path. And to do that after the 4-0, from that 4-0 defeat to Brentford, is just incredible management. And then tomorrow, hopefully, I'm going to be doing a video taking a look at the actual football itself. Taking a look at those passing drills from pre-season that we spoke about so much here on United People's TV. And showing how they're coming into practice and actually making a big difference. I'm looking forward to doing that. But look, everybody, keep getting it. I'll go down to the comments now. I'll answer a few of your questions, or I'll react to a few of your comments. If you've got anything else to say, make sure you please do drop a like on the video and fire in your questions. Sam, what are you saying there? Sam, any info on Martinez's injury? Can't afford to be playing with Maguire and Varane. We've been told that was nothing more than a precaution. I think he felt his adductor, which is, I believe, the internal part of your groin. I think that was just a precaution more than anything. I think he's absolutely fine. But look, he's going to get rested. He's going to be rested, surely, for Real Sociedad on Thursday. I imagine we'll see Lindelof. I imagine we'll see Maguire. I imagine we'll see Shaw. I imagine we'll see a lot of changes. Because we've got a decent enough second 11 now, which I ran through the weekend. Outsider, let me know where you're watching from, buddy. It's a good time to join. I said this, people. I said all the momentum, all the excitement we had during this pre-season. I was like, guys, this is... I know transfers is a very exciting time, but it's all about the football. It's all about, this is what we're building towards. Now what we are seeing here is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. But in terms of Ten Hag's comments, let's run through some of the reaction from himself after the game. And this, for me, is probably one of the best things that he said. Because it goes to show, look, I think we're all slightly guilty of it. And there's a lot of reaction bias, that's what I would call it, in the modern football fandom. When you win, the highs are extremely high. When you lose, the lows are extremely low. Erik ten Hag has a responsibility as a manager to make sure he stays on a level playing field the whole way through. Doesn't lose sight of where he's going, doesn't lose sight of what's happened, and you need that level-headedness in management. Otherwise, it just wouldn't work. Viable Solutions, nice to see you there joining as a member again. But look, this is a perfect example of that. It's not as if Ten Hag's not saying that the players aren't allowed to celebrate. He said after the game when he was speaking to Roy Keane and Gary Neville and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, you know, we will celebrate today, but then tomorrow we start again. But these comments here, it's perfect. We have to keep pushing mentality, attitude. I think there is a lot of room for improvement. Everyone has to bring their maximum every day to Carrington to bring this process in the right direction. I'm not now thinking we are there, but we are in a good direction. Which is exactly what I just said there. I didn't actually realize, maybe I read that first and got it in my head. But yeah, we are heading in the right direction. And it does feel different. It feels a bit different. It's not just the fact that we're winning games. It really isn't. From what we saw in every single one of those 4 wins, post-Brentford, there's been something different. That game against Liverpool, we didn't expect that sort of energy from the start. We didn't expect that sort of performance from United, and we got it, and we won, and we deserved to win, I think, overall. And then that Southampton game, to go there and get a 1-0 win and actually sit deep, sit back, it wasn't the prettiest, it was a bit nervous, it was tetchy, but we held out for that 1-0 win, and to follow that up by doing the same thing against Leicester, it's something different. And to go and then do that against Arsenal, in honesty, that was That was one of the most high-quality games of football, United games, that I've watched in a long time from both teams. Really was. I think Arsenal fans will probably be happy with how they played. They won't be happy with the result, but I think Arsenal had a lot more fluid movement. But saying that, all three of United's goals were fantastic. And I will be speaking about Christian Eriksen. I'll be waxing lyrical about him very, very soon. But Ten Hag, what he's doing, man. Winning 11 down there, you're saying, look, this man is our best signing this summer. Look. And Ferdinand, you're saying, look, you've got to win ugly as well. You do have to win ugly. But yesterday was far from ugly. Yesterday was beautiful. I know we had moments, the 15 minutes after half-time, start of the second half, that was the weakest part of the game for United. We really sat back, and it feels like we came out in a counter-attacking mentality, but Arsenal were just kind of carving through us, and it felt like that goal was inevitable, and the goal eventually came. And as Vicky, you're saying down there, look, they weren't just individual moments of magic. Individual FC? Whatever we called it last year. Last year, or a couple of years, we've been relying on individuals to come up with, like Ronaldo last season, like Bruno for when he signed from January, those 6 months. We've been relying on individuals, and Bruno too, to sort of change the game. But all three of those goals were team goals yesterday. That was a team performance yesterday. Defensively, a team performance again. And it's good. John, you're coming down there, you're trying to sort of piss on the bonfire. Is that a thing? I made it a thing. You're saying it might be negative. We have gone through the stints of positivity a lot during the last managers, and I'm going to remain neutral. Yeah, well, I'm not saying that we haven't, but for me, it just feels different. Because it feels... I can explain to you, I could go now on TV for 10 minutes, and I could confidently explain Erik Ten Hag's style, Erik Ten Hag's philosophy, what Erik Ten Hag wants Manchester United to do in possession, what Erik Ten Hag wants Manchester United to do out of possession. And I could pull up an absolute ton of examples to explain every single one of those points. If I was to try and do that under Ralph Rangnick, I could explain what he wanted us to do. I couldn't really show you that many examples of it happening. I couldn't really, if I'm being completely honest, explain what Solskjaer wanted United to do, apart from the fact that we were explosive on the counter-attack. And that was kind of about it. There wasn't really any patterns of play that repeated themselves between games. And what Ten Hag has done and doing, he's a good... look, there's a comment right there. Wes James, good coach. It's a good coach. It's good coaching. Those goals yesterday were a direct consequence of good coaching, of hard work on the training ground. And that's, for me, why it feels a bit different. Because there's clarity. It feels like there's clarity in everything. Going back to what Ten Hag said after the game, he said exactly that. Look, Ten Hag is trying to, he's not trying to be negative, but Ten Hag is trying to say, look, calm down, guys. Calm down. He's saying, look, I understand fans, they dream, but we are at the start of the process. We are far away. He's not somebody who's going to take that 3-1 win over Arsenal and go, there you go, lads. We've completed it now. Because we didn't complete it. So much control of that game was Arsenal's. Manchester United came up with those goals. The fantastic counter-attacking. The ball from Bruno was out of this world for both of them. The outside of the right foot for Rashford's goal, first one, and then just a lovely ball in behind for Eriksen to run in for the second one. But Erik Ten Hag will want Manchester United to be controlling the game more like Arsenal did than how Manchester United did yesterday. And that will come, it's what he said. He goes, look, Arsenal are further down the process than we are. Arsenal have been working with working with their manager for a little bit longer than I've been working with Man United. That's where I want to get towards, and that's where I'm aiming towards. Warren, you're saying that, what you're saying down here, sir. McTominay is an example of the difference between having an excellent coach with a plan versus a coach who freestyle with no structure. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is like, well, I'm sure he was quite an inspirational dude. I'm sure if you were in the dressing room, you want to win for him. But that can only take you so far. And certainly when your backs are against the wall, to have that plan to rely on in your head, to go back to go, I know exactly what to do. That's where Ten Hag comes in. And it's working, man. It's really, really working. Mental Mania down there saying, look, Arsenal was slick. Yeah, I'm not going to slag Arsenal off for yesterday. I thought they looked good. Genuinely, I thought they looked good. But we were better. Roy Keane, after the game, I'm not sure if you watched it, he was just saying, look, United scored more goals. That's all that matters. And football is a results-driven business, but just as... Man, it's good. I can see some of you down there in the comments speaking about Ronaldo. I will be speaking... I'm going to have a little segment that's going to be on Ronaldo, okay? That's coming later in the show. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say, just because there's so many people who keep commenting about Ronaldo. What else have I got to say from this? This is from Ten Hag as well. Again, going back to what I'm saying about his own standards and the standards that he is trying to force onto these players. Because we can still do things better. With pressing, we had a good plan, but the incoming from Zinchenko, for instance, that gives them overnumbering in midfield. We can be more composed on the ball and don't give it away. Hell yeah, that's what we need. And that, for me, is why Casemiro wasn't signed to be Scott McTominay's backup. It's just that right now, Scott McTominay is in such blistering form. Erik Ten Hag can't take him out of the team when he's playing like that. He can't. And maybe Casemiro comes in, gets a full 90 minutes against Real Sociedad, and then we're going to see him against Palace. Who knows? But if you think I'm going to try and find a negative for Casemiro sitting on the bench after we won 3-1 against Arsenal, yeah, you're in the wrong place. You're really in the wrong place. Sam, what are you saying down there? Great name, first of all. It's great that the players' desire has switched so quickly, but isn't it also a bit worrying how easily and quickly their mentality can change? No, I wouldn't say it's worrying, because mentality is something that can change with the flip of a coin inside a 2-minute period. It can change. It's like you know with your own mentality in anything you do, your mentality can be flipped and changed, but that comes down to good coaching. And what Ten Hag has to now build up is so that mentality can't just flip and change so quickly, by building and building and building and building, and then building that protective layer around the mentality, if you want, so that it won't change and it won't just... But right now, what we needed was for it to change quickly. And these players have accepted it. And it comes down to the acceptance of the players. If they go, you know what, I'm all in. I'm all in with Erik Ten Hag. Whatever he wants me to do, I'm doing it. These last 4 games are the example of what you can do what you can achieve if you do that. John, what are you saying, sir? Rashford played well as a number 9. I have my doubts. You think he still plays versus a low block? Bruno and Eriksen's passing was fire. But Rashford, I've got a whole segment coming up on Rashford, but Rashford was absolutely abysmal, really, against Leicester. Came up with the assist for Sancho's goal, yes, but Rashford just didn't do anywhere near enough. Yesterday is what can happen, when a manager puts faith in the player and the player responds. Rashford was fantastic yesterday, really was, isn't it? And if it was up to 80% of fans, Rashford would have been on the bench yesterday. That's what I mean about the starting 11, man. I don't see the point. I genuinely do not see the point in getting too angry or too happy at starting 11. I've seen so many games over the years at United where I look at that 11 and go, you know what? That is the best starting 11 that we could have played, and we lose. And I look at a starting 11 sometimes and think, what the hell is that? Like PSG away. When we had that game with Rashford. I'll be like, well, look at that. We won. It's one of our best performances. The starting 11 is not the most important thing. It's how the players play, and the players are playing for their manager right now, man. They are playing for him. And speaking of playing for him, let's go on to talk about Eriksen, right? I'll speak about Eriksen in a minute. I'm going to read a few of your comments out here. Siddiq, you're saying, look, it's because he was moved out to the left. I think so as well. We all know that Rashford is a far better player when you play him on the left-hand side. Right? It is. He is. That's what Rashford is. That's what Rashford does. Speaking about what people do, Sigmund is down here. Sigmund very kindly has gifted 5 memberships. One absolute don. Mate, Sigmund, you're an absolute G of the channel, man. This community, I can't wait to see what this community can become by the end of the season. I'm really, really proud of it. I'm really, really proud of what we're building here. And I'm proud to see what United are building. And it is building. We're building blocks, man. We're still in foundations level. I'm not here getting hyped like Arsenal fans trying to suggest that, before this game, you know what? It might be an invincible season, you fucking idiots. Sorry. Idiots. That's what I mean. Reaction bias. You can't get too caught up in a game-to-game basis. And I think that's a big thing that I've tried to advocate here on the channel. I try not to get too downhearted and downbeat in defeats. I mean, it was kind of hard after that Brentford game, and I try not to get too overhyped and excited, I'll be honest. I got massively overhyped yesterday after the game against Arsenal. But from a game-to-game basis, just the process that we're on, we're in a good direction, man. We are really, really... Black Boys, what are you saying there? Black Boy? Thank you for the super chat, dude. What you said? Morning, pal. Great result for us, and you can see the foundations forming. Erik ten Hag is finally the right man in charge at the perfect point in his own career, and give me some of what Scott's been eating. Man, that guy must be eating 39 Weetabix a morning. I don't know what he's eating, but he is looking absolutely on fire at this moment in time. And I'll tell you who else is. This man here. I, for the life of me, could never, ever have imagined. I could never have imagined this. I could never have imagined Christian Eriksen playing the way he's playing every single game for 90 minutes, covering the most distance, affecting the games brilliantly. The Frenkie de Jong situation is a black cloud that will hang over that summer transfer window, no doubt. But I tell you what, this man here really is softening that blow. People keep talking, people will talk about how much United spent this summer transfer window, right? Oh, going out and spent 85 million on Anthony, boom, he scores in his debut. Oh, they spent 50, 60 million on Martinez, yeah, and he was man of the match in 2 consecutive games. Been brilliant for 4 games now, and he was our player of the month for August. But we got Christian Eriksen and Tyrell Malacia for a combined £15 million. That's outrageous business. Absolutely outrageous business. And look at the stats from that game yesterday. I mean, it was phenomenal. He obviously got an assist for Rashford's second. He had the most touches on the pitch, the most passes on the pitch, the most chances created on the pitch, and the second most distance covered on the pitch. Ten Hag spoke about him after the game. He said he can improve his defending, like today, one small mistake and then a foul. So we will give him that, but I think he was magnificent. He really was nothing short of magnificent. There is no other... I'm sure you can use whatever superlatives you want down there, but to see that level of performance from Christian Eriksen is just stunning. It's absolutely stunning. Oh, man. Gungshi. Honestly, you all keep being so generous. I've run out of what to say anymore. It blows my mind. Gungshi, everybody say thank you to Gungshi down here in the comments. He's just gifted 10 memberships, so there's another 10 members of the community. And honestly, anybody who's not part of the community, where have you been? Let me get the link to it now. It's free to join. If you're a member, make sure you head over to the YouTube community tab after this video, because you'll find on there there's a separate link. Don't use that link if you're a member, because if you use that one from the community tab, you'll come to the private members only group. And I'm going to start doing some members only content pretty soon. I've said that quite a lot, but things are just so busy at the moment. They really, really are. I'm trying to get my head around it all, I promise. And Chuck Wommer, you've joined as a member, buddy. Let me know where you're watching from. But, man, I'm staggered. I really am staggered. I keep saying it in every single video I do. When I look at my starting 11, for the last couple of games, I have to say, I'm like, surely Christian Eriksen can't start again. Surely we need to take him up. I don't know where he's got his pacemaker from, but he must have got it from Tesla, because he is electric. Damn it, I know that was cheesy. It was very cheesy, but Christian Eriksen has gone from nearly dying on a football pitch to doing that in such a short space of time. It's one of football's great stories, one of football's great turnarounds. It's absolutely phenomenal what he's done and what he's doing for Manchester United. And as I said, it really is softening the blow of not having Frenkie de Jong. We still need Frenkie de Jong. But if we didn't have Christian Eriksen this season, this Ten Hag football that we have seen building and building, it would have been a lot harder without that bloke as part of it. It's fantastic, man. It's fantastic. Daisy, you're asking where I got my shirt. Drop me a message on Twitter or Instagram and I'll send you the link. Because the guys have given us a discount code. So anybody who wants to get one, yeah. Sam, what are you saying down there? You're saying, Sam, you said he was too old when he was linked with us. But he's always had great running stats as well as everything else. Did I say that Eriksen was too old? The guy's 30, isn't he? Is he 30? Let me check how old Christian Eriksen is. I thought he was 30. Yeah, he's 30. I'd be surprised if I said he was too old when he's 30, considering he's the exact same age as Casemiro. Oh man, just Christian Eriksen, woof. But there's so many players that we need to have a little bit of a focus and a little bit of a spotlight on from that game yesterday. And this man here deserves all the praise you can possibly give him. Marcus Rashford, you can see it in everything that Ten Hag says about him. This is what Ten Hag said after the game. He said Rashford was brilliant. It was a great performance from him as a striker, his pressing, but when we played over him, he made the right decisions. I'm really happy because he's invested a lot. The reason Erik Ten Hag is showing faith and has continued to show faith in Marcus Rashford, in my opinion, is because of how hard Marcus Rashford has been working. Before the pre-season even started, Marcus Rashford was doing a personal training program with a separate fitness instructor, getting himself as ready as possible for pre-season to give himself a leg up when pre-season started. Throughout the whole pre-season tour, he found his place on the left-hand side, and it was working. With the injuries to Rashford and the injuries to Martial and injuries to Ronaldo, we started playing him through the middle, and it wasn't as effective. And then moving back to the left, bingo bango, Marcus Rashford's back. I'm not saying Marcus Rashford's back. I said Man United back, Marcus Rashford's back, but there he is. It's what happens if a manager can put faith in a player and the player delivers. That would have felt so important for Rashford. I'll tell you what, seriously high pressure situation, put straight through by Bruno. Oh, I don't know what my favourite pass was yesterday. It was either that pass from Bruno or the pass from Eriksen in the build-up to Antony's goal. You can choose one of those two if you want. Or you can choose anything else. There was a volley pass from Martinez to Antony. That was a cracking pass too. But Marcus Rashford, man, well done. That will mean a lot to him. I've never questioned Rashford's desire, if I'm being completely honest. United born and bred. He has a different affection with the club. He does. But we've just not seen enough of it over 18 months. He's been absolutely woeful. His form has utterly disappeared. But there he is. There he is, man. And it's good to see it. Inez, let me know where you're watching from, buddy. Ferdinand, you're saying, look, Rashford is back. And Alaya, you're saying, look, I'm not getting carried away. I'm not going to get carried away. But Ryan, you're down here saying, look, it's great and refreshing to see these positive lives. Yeah, man, it is. It's, being negative is exhausting. Talking negatively about how shit your football team is exhausting. And I'm bored of doing it, man. I've got a responsibility with this platform now that I'll always be here after the biggest of wins, and I'll be here after the biggest of defeats. But I'd rather not speak about defeats anymore. I'd rather not speak about my club being a joke anymore. And it's good to actually be speaking about wins, performances, and just how Manchester United played. And look, another individual that I think we need to have a conversation about. Trust me, we're still going to speak about McTominay, still speaking about Bruno, still speaking about Ronaldo and Antony. There's still loads more in the show, so make sure you drop a like on the video, people, and just get involved in the comments. I'll try and answer as many of your questions as possible. Honestly, Scott McTominay. What can you say about Scott McTominay, right? We've spoken about him plenty on this channel. I said that I always felt out of McTominay and Fred, I felt Fred together. I didn't like the idea of that. I don't like it. It's just like tagging them onto each other like they're not just two individual footballers. And I said, I believe Fred can be a good squad player for Manchester United this season. I personally felt that McTominay had levelled and just was only ever going to go sideways as a footballer. And I was wrong. I was definitely wrong. And this isn't a reaction to how McTominay played in that game yesterday. This is a reaction to how McTominay has played now for 4 consecutive games. Southampton, he was very, very good defensively. Offensively, he left so much to be desired. But defensively, he didn't really put a foot wrong. And as a defensive midfielder, it's kind of your first job. Against Arsenal yesterday, did the job. He really did the job. He's a guaranteed yellow card, though. So McTominay, man, like, get that out of your game. You're on 4 yellows now in the first, first 4 yellows in 6 games. He's going to get suspended. If he gets a yellow against Crystal Palace, that's him suspended for the next game. McTominay's got to rein that in a little bit. But this is, look, people down here saying, look, it's a Casemiro effect. Look, It's not just the Casemiro effect. This is McTominay and the drive that he is doing, right? Fair play to him. Absolutely fair play to him. Esteval, you're saying, look, Peter Drew's commentary on Anthony's goal gave me the goosies. I like that. Gave me the goosies. I'm going to say that. I'm going to use that again. Bill, you're watching from Australia. Randomly caught my eye. Nice to see you there, buddy. But look, Scott McTominay, fair play to him. Casemiro should be starting for Manchester United more times this season than Scott McTominay, without doubt. And I don't really care how good McTominay plays. But Erik ten Hag does. Erik ten Hag right now is rewarding players that are performing for him. He's building his own trusted lieutenants, if you want to call it that. And Casemiro will come in, and Casemiro, when he's firing, and I'll be honest, man, Casemiro looked a bit shaky when he came off the bench, right? He did. He absolutely did. He didn't look completely on the pace. Sloppy ball. Maguire getting a yellow card within like 2 minutes of coming on. Maguire looked well off the pace. Maguire looked like Maguire, right? And this is a new look Manchester United team that will not be able to afford that Maguire anymore. So either we get Maguire and a resurgence in the same sort of way that we're seeing McTominay finding his place in this team, because I'll happily support Maguire in that sense. If Maguire can, anytime he comes into Europa League games, and if he can start playing like Martinez is playing and like Varane is playing, then I will support him. But Maguire yesterday, woof. Maguire was just last season Maguire, and this team doesn't need it anymore. Gone, vamos. We're not just taking passengers anymore. You either ride with us properly, or you can get the bus. At the moment, Maguire's getting the bus. McTominay though, oof, absolutely fantastic from him. And I tell you what, man, there's not that many players over the last, I don't know. There aren't many players that have been criticised more, I would say, than Bruno Fernandes. Which is kind of weird, considering he's literally provided more assists, I think, since he joined in January than Kevin De Bruyne in the Premier League. Bruno Fernandes, he's been playing with the captain's armband on since Harry Maguire's been dropped against Liverpool, and I think he's been delivering. Yes, there's still room for improvement, still areas of his game that he needs to hone, polish, craft, mould into something just a little bit more rounded. But Bruno Fernandes yesterday, man, that pass to Rashford for the second, that pass to release Eriksen for the third, the overall performance, he's found his place. And that's what happens when you've got a midfield that has balance, right? That number 10 position is the perfect position for Bruno, because he's like a puppy. He'll constantly run around. He'll make himself a pest. A bit like Fred did when he came off the bench. I'm going to speak about Fred and Ronaldo coming up next. But Bruno yesterday, man, come on. That's what you need. That's what I want to see. More of that. Outrageously good quality passing. Yeah, he will be frustrating you at certain points. But players of that ilk will do that. They will. And I've always felt that the criticism of Bruno Fernandes was a little bit, I don't know, I found it a bit odd. Because there aren't many players who have delivered as much as he has delivered over the last 18 months. And Daisy, you are spot on there with that comment. A big reason why we should all absolutely love Bruno is because he boils the piss of everybody. Did you see what happened against the Scousers? My word, they were losing their minds. Because he's got that little bit of time waste in this game. He's got that Portuguese schneidi side. And when it works for you, it's great. When it's against you, it's the most frustrating and infuriating thing in the world. Let me go down here. Jeremiah, yeah, he's saying, look, no one has more league assists than Bruno since he signed for us. Deep, you're saying, look, Casemiro will play against Sociedad because he's got experience. It's not about because he's got experience, but that's irrelevant. He'll play against Real Sociedad because he hasn't played in the Premier League so far, and he needs those minutes in his legs. Casemiro will start against Sociedad. No doubt whatsoever. Bruno for the club captain. Well, look, Bruno's playing as a captain at the moment. Right, Maguire's on the bench. We all felt that Maguire getting that armband, there we go, it means that, he's going to play every game this season. No, it's not at all. Erik ten Hag has shown that the armband is nothing, it's just a symbolic gesture at this moment in time for Maguire. That was probably Erik ten Hag's way of putting his arm around his shoulder and saying, look, I'm going to support you. But if you're shit, you're going to sit on the bench, right? And that's nothing against you. That's just how I'm going to operate. But Bruno Fernandes, man, I love the bloke. Absolutely love the bloke. Yeah, he's infuriating, but he's the sort of person that can just make a moment happen. And that pass, it wasn't even slightly easy, that pass to Rashford. Outside of his right boot, running onto it, through, I think it was 4 Arsenal players, perfectly weighted. It was filthy. It was absolutely filthy goal. What else are you saying down here? Mate, Kevin De Bruyne loses possession an insane amount of times. When you're that player and you're looking for those passes that are like through the eye of the needle, yeah, of course you're going to lose possession more. But when you find the eye of the needle, you create a goal-scoring chance. And it's these players that change football games. It's these players that you need if you're going to get anywhere near the top of the Premier League table. Beck's there with a really, really, really strange comment. Why do people say this? I'm presuming you're just a troll, but I'm just going to expose a troll. Casemiro, can't wait for him to play for Manchester United. He's going to be a cracking signing. And I tell you what, speaking of signings, I think this is the next point I had up here. Oh, look at that, man. Segue. 10 out of 10 for the segue there. Someone just joined as a member. Chris, let me know where you're watching from, buddy. I'll try and give you a shout out in the comments. But look, I said this after the game. I said, look, to see our new signings settling in and impacting the games right at the start of their United careers, it's such a big change. Martinez has been monumental. Eriksen has been the architect of our football. Malacia is a warrior. And Anthony has announced himself. And no doubt Casemiro will as well. Honestly, people, I think I'm quickly falling in love. I'm quickly falling in love with Martinez. He is the embodiment of this new aggression that we've got. You just look at him, and he's now setting a standard where if the other players around him don't step up to it, it's so obvious that they're not committing enough compared to him, and they stand out like a sore thumb. Look at Diogo Dalot. He's been absolutely... I don't know who the bigger turnaround is. Who is the biggest turnaround in the last 4 games? Would you say it's Scott McTominay, or would you say it's Diogo Dalot? Because I think you can argue for both of them. Their improvement has been absolutely fantastic. And you're right there, Anthony's saying, look, I love Martinez's fire, it's infectious. And Scott is saying, look, I'm with you as well. He's unlocked Varane. Varane just... Everybody just feels comfortable playing with each other. It feels like they fit quite well. The mentality is fantastic. Lots of you down here, well, you're all coming up here. Dalot was amazing. Lots of you are saying that Dalot's probably the biggest turnaround. And maybe, I think you're probably right, maybe. Actually, I don't know. I really don't know. That's how impressed I've been with McTominay. But Diogo has been, they've both been outrageously good compared to what happened early this season, what we've grown to expect of them and what we are now seeing from them. But it's not just Martinez. As I said, every single one of our new signings. Look, Malacia yesterday, with the one thing that we knew he would need to improve on at Manchester United was his defensive positioning, which he still needs to do. That was probably where Arsenal had a lot of their threat, was down that left-hand side. But Malacia is such an athlete and a fighter that his recovery is fantastic. His recovery is brilliant. But he needs to be able to position himself better, and I'm sure that Erik Ten Hag will help him learn that, and he'll have to learn that in the Premier League, because if he doesn't, he's going to get exposed. But Malacia's got the fight and determination to get back in that position, so his recovery is absolutely fantastic. Christian Eriksen he's been magnificent. He's been magnificent. And Anthony, to come on and do that on your debut. Mate, the quality of the Premier League this season, it's phenomenal. It's really phenomenal. Erling Haaland has come into the Premier League and just set a different standard straight away. And Anthony has come in and done that too. Maybe not set a different standard straight, but to come in and score that goal, it's the monkey off your back within 45 minutes of your debut. That's the thing that goes, you know what? Right, I'm in. I'm settled. Let's go. Let's make magic happen. Brilliant from him. Mojo, nice name. Saying, I just couldn't believe what was unfolding in front of me yesterday. For the entire 97 minutes, De Gea only had one save to make. And all this Arsenal being better 15 minutes is useless because they created nothing. Well, I think that's a bit unfair to say they created nothing. Arsenal were dangerous. And there were quite a lot of situations where if Arsenal were just a little bit more, in particular, the one where Saka took it down on his right foot in a similar sort of position is to where Anthony scored from, and he fired his shot wide with his right foot. There was another one where it should have been passed across to Odegaard. Arsenal, if they were being far more clinical yesterday, would easily have had far more than one goal. I think so. Arsenal played well. Honestly, I think Arsenal fans should be pretty happy with their overall performance, but unfortunately for them, their weak backbone got exposed. Bingo bango. That's what Manchester United have managed to sort of shore up. We've put a bit of Kevlar around our backbone this year. And I'll tell you who the Kevlar is. This man. Honestly, look at it. That's from the video I showed you earlier. This dude here. That's a bit zoomed in. It's something, and maybe there's going to be fans of other clubs. I'll be honest, I don't really give a toss what they think. But we've just been like, let's rewind to last season, man. Like, we got steamrolled 5-0 by Liverpool at Old Trafford. Absolutely ran over by Liverpool at Anfield 4-0. The City game at Old Trafford, I think it was 2-0, and it was just an exhibition game. City were toying with us. Like a cat toying with a mouse, just like, I can kill you at any moment. I'm just going to keep you alive. We want to have a little bit of fun. That's what City did with us last year. But what we're seeing this year is that there's something different about this team. We can now say that with some real confidence, because it's not the case where it's just a win over Liverpool and then we go and throw it all away against Southampton and the same questions get asked. No doubt when our first loss comes, there will be questions that will be asked. And how do you bounce back X, Y, Z? And the Crystal Palace won't be an easy game, by the way, in any way, shape or form. They've been playing pretty damn good football this season. That will be tough. But what a signing he's been. What a signing he's been. There's someone else I think we should absolutely be speaking about here. And I think that's Cristiano Ronaldo. I think Cristiano Ronaldo is, he's found his place. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. Right, when Ronaldo was breaking through into this Manchester United team as a teenager, I think it was said on Sky yesterday, in 2005, that was the last time that Cristiano Ronaldo made 4 consecutive substitute appearances for Manchester United. That was when he was breaking through. And then he became the greatest of all time. And then Ronaldo could not be taken out of the team. That was Ronaldo when he was, 18? This is Ronaldo when he's 37, 38. Ronaldo now, in my opinion, that was probably the best performance he's made from the bench so far this season. He deserved the goal yesterday when he came off. That pass from Fred, that was a poor pass. Really poor pass from Fred. He should have weighted that better. But Ronaldo pressed. He did it with intensity, but he does not have the legs to do that for 90 minutes. Ronaldo, in my opinion, was a good substitute yesterday. I like the attitude from him. I like the approach from him. But it doesn't mean I think Ronaldo should be starting. I do not think that Ronaldo should be starting for Manchester United. We're heading down a different path to Ronaldo ball, right? Ronaldo just, Gungshi's down here. Sorry, not Gungshi, Metal. You're saying, look, he's a bench player. I wouldn't say, Ronaldo doesn't need to shut his mouth, man. Ronaldo doesn't need to shut his mouth. Now, Ronaldo just needs to knuckle down and play like that, right? And I think I said this, I spoke to you about it quite a bit. I said, I hope that Ronaldo, once this transfer window is over, once it's finished, that Ronaldo can go, you know what? Right, I'm here now. It's not where I want to be, but fuck it, I'm here. I may as well make the most of it. And that yesterday there was good. Was absolutely good. Lots of you are talking about how Rashford's movement opened up for Rashford. Just Ronaldo helped. Ronaldo helped United in that last half an hour in the same way that Fred came off the bench and helped Manchester United for your last half an hour. That's what you need from your bench. You need your bench to be able to come and impact that game in that moment in time. And they both did that. But Ronaldo should, in my opinion, be staying on that bench for the foreseeable future until he hits a really good run of form from the bench, and then we can have a conversation about whether or not he comes into a starting 11. And he needs more fitness. Ronaldo missed the entire preseason, and it wasn't an average preseason. It was probably the most intense preseason Manchester United have had in a long ass time. And the players worked relentlessly for weeks and weeks and weeks, day in, day out, double training sessions. Now the season started, Ten Hag can't afford to be that intense. So Ronaldo's going to have to do a lot of work on his own. He's got to get fitter. But Ronaldo showed yesterday he can make an impact from the bench. Fair play, man. I didn't question his professionalism past the point of the season starting. after the transfer window ended. I said that I thought Ronaldo's going to be our top goal scorer. Maybe that was a bit far, but Ronaldo at this moment in time, he's just got to accept that he's at a different point in his career now. He is a super sub at this moment in time. That could change as the season goes on. But right now, Ronaldo's best place is on the bench to start games for Manchester at the moment for Manchester United, because our front three, our attacking we're going down a different path. All right, and anybody trying to sort of cause division and arguments, I did that video on Ronaldo because I got really pissed off with how Ronaldo was acting during the summer transfer window, and I did that video. I got some really bad feedback from quite a lot of people, and I was like, you know what? I watched the video again. I said, yeah, fair play. I think I went in too hard there. But Ronaldo there, you can't say that Ronaldo should be starting for Manchester United at the moment. There is no evidence to support that argument, other than the fact that you are a massive fan of Cristiano Ronaldo and you want to see him play for the club. Let's go. Fred, let me see what you're saying down here. Ronnie realises this is a better team from last year and wants to be part of it. Yeah, I think you can probably say and see that now. I think so anyway. Ronaldo will win the Europa for us. I can't imagine Ronaldo's going to play much in the Europa. Ferdinand is saying, look, Sancho needs to step up and be consistent. I think Sancho will need to improve. But I don't personally think that Ronaldo will start on Thursday. Maybe I'm wrong, actually. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right. But I can't imagine Ronaldo playing in the Europa League. I think I can't get around that. Type yes or no in the comments. Do you think Ronaldo will start against Real Sociedad on Thursday? Type yes or no. Maybe because it's Old Trafford, maybe it's a little bit different rather than playing away from home in a different Europa League stadium. But look, Nick, you're saying down there, it's totally wrong. He should be. Nick, you really think I'm going to argue and force the concept of Ronaldo coming into a team which has just beaten Liverpool, Southampton, Leicester and Arsenal, 4 wins on the bounce? And you think I'm going to start arguing that Ronaldo should jump back in that team? You're wrongly mistaken, man. Gravely mistaken. In the same way that I wouldn't be booting McTominay out of that team just because Casemiro's there. Not with the way that Casemiro's playing at the moment. I'll be honest, look, yeah, you're all down here. You're probably all correct, if I'm being honest. All of you think that, man, this always makes me smile. So many of you fire in your comments. All of you think that Ronaldo's starting against Sociedad. Well, there you go. So maybe we will see against Real Sociedad what Ronaldo can do from the starting position. And Casemiro, maybe get Ronaldo and Casemiro starting for United. Fair play to Ronaldo. As I said, fair play to Ronaldo. And just this squad feels better. Sammy's saying, look, what's wrong with playing Europa? Look, the Europa's improved in its appeal in the last couple of years, and qualifying for the Champions League is obviously a big thing, but this is Ronaldo. Multiple Ballon d'Or winning, multiple Champions League winning Ronaldo. He's built his career feasting at the top table. He doesn't want to eat at the kids' table at the Christmas party, which is effectively what the Europa League is. But it's at that point in his career. There you go. Josh, you don't think that we'll see Ronaldo start very much at all this season? Bjorn, look, I don't think that's going to be the case at all. We will definitely 1,000,000% see rotation against Real Sociedad. He's reiterated on more than once this season about how important a squad is for Manchester United's chances. We've got Crystal Palace away on Sunday at 4:30, I think it is. So that's Sociedad game a few days early on Thursday, and we've got players there. We'll probably see we'll definitely see Martinez rested anyway. You might get Maguire in there alongside Varane. You'll definitely get Casemiro in there. I think you'll get Casemiro and Fred. Eriksen, just let Eriksen have a bubble bath. Just let him chill, man. My word. Type Erik ten Heisenberg if you're feeling bullish on Erik ten Hag right now. I'll tell you what, random point. I finished Better Call Saul last week. And no spoilers here in the comments, please, for anyone, people. But if you love Breaking Bad and you haven't watched Better Call Saul yet, what are you doing with your life? Genuinely, I think it's a fair argument to say that Better Call Saul might be better than Breaking Bad. Really random curveball there, but it's just incredible. So go and watch it. Phoenix, you're feeling chipper. You're feeling high. You're feeling it. But yeah, man, Alan, you're saying down here, look, it's the passage of time. Ronnie must accept he has passed his best. However, he can do a job. It's completely what I think, completely what I feel. And Ronaldo, let's not forget Ronaldo tried to force his way out of the club and couldn't. We've heard that Ronaldo is going to give an interview exposing the truth. He said that about 3 weeks ago now. Let's see what goes on. But more importantly, right, is this. And the idea of this. This is from Mike, what's his name? Mike Keegan for the Daily Mail. He's saying that the Glazers have put a price tag on selling the club. And that price would be £3.75 billion. And this is what the article says. It said around 3.75 billion would be enough to prize Manchester United away from the Glazer family. That's according to well-placed sources. It remains to be seen whether such a figure will be palatable to Jim Ratcliffe. But let's see, right? Let's find out what's going on, because it's dreamy. Yesterday there was the 1958 protest, organised protest that happened before the game against Arsenal. It was quite a quiet protest compared to what's happened previously, but oh man, you've seen it in the game yesterday. After Anthony scored, chance of Glazer out. At full time, after beating Arsenal 3-1, chance of Glazer out. Before half time, chance of Glazer out. After half time, chance of Glazer out. Before the game, Glazer out protests. It's not going away now. It's not going. Oh, for fuck's sake. Or you are seriously going to get. You're going to be the first Channel 4's divorce. Or is down here dropping in 50 gifted memberships again, mate. What a dude. Yeah, honestly, what a dude. It's Monday. It's Monday morning. If this is how the week is starting, where are we going to be on Friday, ladies and gents? Everybody say thank you very much to all, the absolute OG of the channel. Not OG. He's not the OG anymore. It's just the absolute G. The godfather of the gifted membership community. It's quite a big community now. It really is. And it's just getting bigger and bigger. But thank you so much, man. Thank you very, very, very much. But yeah, this idea, I'm holding on to it. I'm dreaming of it. Because as much as I'm loving what I'm seeing at the moment and where we can go under Erik ten Hag, this is the ultimate dream. This is the dream. Stephen down here saying, have you got a good lawyer to fend off his missus? I'm gonna get like a cease and desist order from Orr's missus saying he spent all the money on gifting memberships to your stupid YouTube channel. Kick him off, ban him. I'm not gonna ban him. I'm sure she'd love it. I'm sure she'd love it as well. But lots of you are saying down there, saying I don't see anyone receiving the memberships yet. Look, I'll make sure that it happens. All right. So if there's something wrong, I'll jump on this on YouTube supporter chat after this, and I'll make sure that it goes through to everybody. But if you don't have a smile on your face after what we saw yesterday, then well, you probably won't have a smile on your face at any point in the season. It was a genuinely intensive game of football between two, I would say, top quality teams. It was one of the best quality games of football I've watched United play and win in a long time. Fantastic goals, nervous moments, grit, determination, just improved. We've just improved. And game by game by game, we're seeing something different. We're building on top of it, one after the other, after the other. Let's see what comes next, right? Always going out there, always going from the second bank account that she doesn't know about. Not that I condone doing that for my partner, right? I just heard it from a friend. But Anthony on his debut, man. Honestly, I could run through all the talking points again. There really was just so many. Anthony on his debut, Ten Hag and how he reacted, Christian Eriksen how he played, to Marcus Rashford banging in two, to Scott McTominay eating, I don't know what he's eating, but I want some, to Bruno Fernandes, to Cristiano Ronaldo coming off the bench with Fred, and overall, everybody as a collective contributing to that game there. Fantastic. Let's see what's next. Real Sociedad on Thursday. We've got Crystal Palace coming up after that, and I think we've got Sheriff, and then I don't know who we've got after that, but then I know we've got City coming up. It might be City after Sheriff. Goose, you're saying, is Madasir good enough? Yes, Madasir is good enough. In my opinion, Madasir is somebody who's got that enthusiasm, yes. Does leave him a little bit exposed sometimes defensively, but he's got the athleticism to just run straight back in position. And that's important because he's getting himself out of trouble quite a few times. but we need to make sure that he doesn't get into trouble as much. That's what he has to improve himself. Super James, that you've joined as a member as well. Let me know where you're watching from, dude. And Tylee saying, look, do you think Ten Hag's chosen his best 11 from yesterday's games? I don't think he has. It depends on your definition of the best 11. On form, I think the best 11 is right there. But on paper, Casemiro's not in that team yet. So I don't think that is his best 11 on paper. But when your players are playing like that, you have to reward them. And even if your player's not playing well like Rashford, you have to give them the chance to prove themselves. And yesterday, it goes to show what can happen if you give faith to a player and they prove it and they deliver. Well done, Rashford. Well done, everybody. It's a really cracking win. By the way, we're 2 points behind City now? It's a far cry from where we were 4 games ago. Big up to Erik Ten Hag. Big up to everything. Jonathan, you're hoping for a scraper win at Palace and give the Leeds a dirty slapping before City. That game against City, that's going to be blockbuster. And Man United have shown there, in that win over Arsenal, that we can step up to the plate. City is a different place altogether. But we're heading in that direction. I hope you enjoyed the show this morning. I enjoyed it. Thank you to all. Thank you to Gungshi. Thank you to Sigmund as well. All the 65 gifted memberships here this morning. Maybe even more. I might have missed some. Apologies if I haven't missed any. But this is the community, man. Drop a like on the video. Make sure as a community member you join the Telegram. I'm gonna start doing more and more giveaways, man. You keep giving back to me, I'm gonna keep giving back to you. I'll give away a shirt this week. I gave away one last week to somebody on Instagram. Make sure he's got back to me actually. But look, take it easy, everybody. Have a cracking day.